406,585. That's how many Model 3 and Model Ys Tesla sold last quarter. And while Tesla doesn't give specific car numbers, considering the Model Y is once again the best-selling new car in America, we can deduce that roughly 70% of that 400,000+ figure is Model Y, meaning an over 2-to-1 ratio. And as someone that's been dailying a Model 3 since 2021, I always wondered why that was. Is it really just because it's a bigger Model 3, or is there more to it? Well, as you all know, I recently took delivery of a new Model Y, and after driving it these past few weeks, yeah, I think I've figured it out. Now, these are in no particular order, just things I've found to like more about my Model Y versus my Model 3, and make sure you stick around to the end, as I'll be trying to plug in the new Model Y Performance's bigger, higher res screen into my Model 3 to see if you could just retrofit it yourself. So let's go ahead and just get the easy and obvious one out of the way. It's bigger. Like, just all the storage space and just space in general is bigger. Front trunk, bigger. Trunk, bigger. Sub-trunk, bigger. Even the cubby pockets on the left and right side of the trunk, you guessed it, bigger. Now, a pretty common way to compare storage space, putting an actual number on it, is via cubic feet, or if you're across the pond, liters. And if you've ever looked that up for the Model Y versus 3, the number you get will make the Y seem like almost 3 times as big. And this is because the official number from Tesla is with the Model Y seats folded flat versus not folded in the 3. So for the Model Y, they state around 75 cubic feet, where in the Model 3, it's 24 cubic feet. But if you fold the seats with the Model 3, start comparing apples to apples, it's more so 75 to about 50. So still a very noticeable difference, but not almost 3 times as big. Also, not to mention, because the Y seats are so much higher off the floor, you can get little bins to go underneath them for even more storage. Now, while the 3 has great storage space for its size, the one thing that it doesn't have, and honestly something I value even more than just storage space, the opening. It's got a hatchback style trunk with a ton more vertical space. Multiple times throughout my Model 3 ownership, I had something that would fit in the car, like I measured it would gladly fit in the back seat, but the openings to put the thing in the car just weren't big enough. Even something like the Model S, which has a hatchback style opening and is definitely easier to load things into versus the 3, it still lacks vertical space. I actually had to pick up a wine cooler prior to Christmas, and it was just like an inch too tall to fit into the Model S. I had to unbox it in the parking lot and then put it in like that, and it fit. But had I had a Model Y, it would have fit just fine in its box. The Y overall has the best storage out of any Tesla. Better openings in the 3, more flat storage than the X because the captain's chairs don't fold. S is the closest with slightly more flat storage space, but the Y still clears on vertical clearance. Also, real quick, any of the accessories that you see throughout this video, so floor mats, the rotating screen mounts, the side cubby bins you see in the trunk, screen protector, literally everything will be linked down below. You can use code YouTube, all caps, to get 10% off your entire order, along with free shipping over $150 from Test Stuff. And last thing when it comes to storage, the power folding seats. You know, I didn't know if I could put them up from the front screen with me being in the seat, but turns out I could. So instead of getting out of the front seat, as the car will move the front seat automatically to give the rear seat room to move, I just did it right there, and it moved my seat up anyway after I confirmed a warning pop-up. Also, not to mention that they're one of the fastest folding powered seats in the entire auto industry. Now, this next one was something that I thought it may just be a me thing, like maybe I'm just sitting up higher and can see more, that inspires more confidence in me, but after using them back to back, I genuinely think the Y's FSD is just ever so slightly better versus the 3, which, I mean, I guess makes sense because the cameras are higher and can see better. Also, the rear camera is higher with a much wider FOV. My current ranking for V14 goes S, then 3, then Y. I haven't been in an X on V14, and I don't even know if Cybertruck even has V14, but I would definitely put the Model Y in the front. Turn signal. Yes, 2026 Model 3s now have them, but mine doesn't. And if you're shopping between a used Refresh 3 and new Y, it's something to know. Tesla will, however, sell you a retrofit for, I think it's a little over $500, but yeah, I will admit having a turn signal again has been pretty convenient. I was never even one to complain about the buttons. I actually prefer the aesthetic of the buttons, but just knowing that no matter what position the wheel is in, my turn signal is always in the same spot, if that makes sense, because I mean, if you're turning left, your turn signal is at the bottom. If you're turning right, your turn signal will be at the the top. If you're in a roundabout, the turn signal could be on like this side because your wheel is upside down. I am hoping Tesla either adds an option to delete the Y's turn signal, which I doubt it, or add a retrofit for the Model S, as going back and forth between two Teslas that have very different turn signal designs is kind of annoying. For me personally, the turn signal being back isn't really a pro. I'm more so indifferent about it, but I know a lot of people don't like the buttons, so I wanted to mention it. Now, something that I would always get comments about, but didn't understand until actually owning one: the height. Model Y being a taller vehicle paired with higher seats equals getting in and out of the car for most is easier, and loading stuff in is also easier, like car seats and kids. Getting in the 3 is kind of like a hover, move, and then drop, which I actually don't mind, but getting out is where you'll really notice it. It's just a lot less strain getting out, and instead of pulling yourself out, you kind of just turn and then drop out. For example, my grandmother, who's in her 70s, 2 hip replacements, she actually prefers getting into the S and 3 because they're lower. It's easier for her to get in. However, getting out, I almost always have to help her out. But the Y, she can get out just fine. It's getting in where she kind of like pull herself up and then get into the seat. Now, this next one is gonna be a surprise to probably no one, but still, the Y is more comfortable and less noisy, sort of. Comfort 100% the Y. You just feel less of the road's imperfections, which is to be expected when comparing a crossover SUV to a sportier sedan. Also, if you have older kids or just adult rear passengers, it's not even a competition. The Y is so much more spacious and comfortable for bigger rear passengers. If you all saw my delivery day video, my reaction sitting in the rear seat will tell you everything you need to know. For the noise, I say sort of because while my equipment measures the 3 and Y to be about the same, the actual sound getting into the Y, it just sounds quieter. Now, I believe this is because the 3 is closer to the ground, thus you get a lower frequency sound, which our ears just pick up on easier, compared to the Y, which is higher up, you're not as close to the road, thus the noise that's getting in is on the more higher end of the frequency, which our ears tend to just tune out. Hopefully I'm making sense here. That's kind of the best way that I can describe it. Now, number, to be honest with you, I don't actually know what number. Yeah, the full glass roof. This is subjective, but I much prefer the full roof in the Y and even the S to the split roof in the 3. It's just nicer to look through, especially for rear passengers. If you've ever looked through the 3's glass, you'll know that you pretty much have to crank your neck straight up, as if you look slightly up, you're just staring at the bar that's right in front of your face. Now, the flip side to that, and because the S also has a full glass roof, this is a problem with it as well. It's just not as bad as the Y. When you look out your rear view mirror, the piece of glass that you look through is like super tiny and kind of annoying to try and see out of. Whereas in the 3, it's just all glass. Like there's nothing obstructing your vision when you look through your rear view mirror. Personally, because of all the cameras around the car, I would take the full glass roof in the 3 and like a tinier rear view piece of glass to see out of. Okay, front bumper camera, and just like the turn signal stock, 2026 3s are coming with this now, but mine didn't. So if you're shopping used, that is something to know. However, unlike the turn signal stock, which can be retrofitted, the front bumper camera can't, despite, from at least what we know, Model 3s produced about 6 months into them being in the US, so that's around the time that the performances started coming out, should have the port to just like plug in the camera and it would work, but Tesla is not offering a retrofit at this time. Now, I see a lot of people who don't have front bumper cameras say, oh, you know, just look out the front window. And in something low to the ground like the 3, that's actually a pretty valid argument. However, now living with a front cam, I will admit it's pretty nice and very useful for getting super close to something like a curb. Also, while Tesla is not currently using it for FSD, they will more than likely eventually turn it on, so that is something to be mindful of. I love the front bumper camera. I don't love how the front and rear flip-flop, unlike S that just stays at the top, but besides that, yeah, the cam is great, and I really can't see myself going back to a car that doesn't have some type of front bumper camera. Now, these final 2 things are performance Y only, but I know a lot of people are cross-shopping performance Ys with performance 3s, and these things will more than likely come to every Tesla, but for right now, they're Model Y performance only. First up is the bigger, higher res screen, 16 inches at 1440p or 2K, and the highest PPI of any Tesla at over 180 pixels per inch. Yes, you notice it right away. Anyone that tells you you can't is either crazy or, and more likely, they just own an older Tesla and they don't want to think that the new thing is nice. People do it all the time. And then second is the thigh extension. Now, if you're too tall, you might not ever notice it. I would say as long as you're like under 6'3", 6'2", then you'll notice it, assuming that your legs aren't like super long in proportion to the rest of your body. For me, I can kind of notice it when I'm just riding around normal, but whenever I throw on FSD, slide my foot up a little bit, slide the seat back, that's when I really notice it. And at that point, the comfort in the Model Y just blows the 3 out of the water. All right, bonus here at the end. I can't spend all video talking negatively about the 3. That's my baby. I love the 3. So 3 things about the Model 3 that I like compared to the Model Y. First, the looks. I think the Performance Model 3 blows the new Model Y out of the water, including the Performance Model Y. You know, it's up there for me. It's probably Tesla's best looking car in my opinion. It's like right alongside new Plaid, and even then, like some angles, I still think the 3 looks better. This is subjective, so you might not agree, but I have to mention it. I still love the look of the 3 almost a year and a half, 2 years later. Second is handling and the ability to maneuver the car, which is a surprise to no one that the smaller, sportier sedan handles and can be maneuvered easier than the bigger SUV crossover. But it is something that I want to mention. Now, you know, I think there's a reason why you see car guys, you know, that own Porsches, Beamers, even supercars, that whenever they do want to try an EV, they either get the Plaid because that's the Plaid, or they get, if they actually want a more drivers focused car, a Model 3 Performance. Like I see people all the time that own supercars and stuff that their EV of choice is still a Model 3 Performance because it drives really well. I mean, it still has all the other Tesla stuff like the FSD and whatnot, but when they actually want to drive the car, it feels like a driver's car. It's not as comfortable. It's a little bit noisier, but you feel like you're on the road with the car. You feel like you're one with the car. And then third is performance and track mode. Yes, the Model 3 Performance is faster than the Model Y in a straight line. Even the Performance Model Y is 0 to 60, 60 to 130. They pretty much use the exact same motors, slightly different batteries, but yeah, heavier, bigger car is going to be a little bit slower with the exact same motor in it. So if you do care about that, yeah, the 3 is faster. Also, track mode. There just isn't track mode in the Model Y Performance. I've heard that it's a hardware limitation. They just didn't put the stuff that's needed to cool the battery in there. But I've also heard that's not true, and it truly was just our data shows no one uses it, so we're not going to put time and resources into it. If that is the case, I do hope we eventually get it. If you wanted to tinker with the car, make it rear wheel or front wheel bias or adjust the stability, though the new Model Y does have like a little stability setting in it now, then you can't with the Model Y, but you can with the Model 3. But yeah, those are 10, 11 things that I like about my new Model Y versus my Model 3. I've actually had comments from people saying that they watched me whenever they were interested in purchasing a Model 3, and now they're watching me again for the new refresh Y. If that is you and you have made the switch from the 3 to the Y, are there any other pros that you would like to mention? Like, how do the pros that I mentioned in this video stack up in your experience? Also, yes, I am working on my Model 3 Performance versus Model Y Performance video. You all saw my 1-month Plaid review. I like to be very thorough, so the video is coming. Just give me a little bit more time. Another thing, I will finally be PPFing my Model Y this coming weekend with my DIY kit from Drive Protected, and I'll be kind of like posting updates as I go over on Instagram in case you want to follow along. So if there's not a video next week, that's more than likely why. I also need to redo the front bumper on my Model S, which hopefully I'll be getting back from service sometime next week. So yeah, no video, that's why. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you all are new around here and you want to see more Tesla related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Here in the Model Y, and as you guys can probably immediately tell, yeah, this is the Model 3 screen, a little bit smaller, more rounded corners, image is a little bit softer. It works, it fits, the mounting points are all the same. I do have it on our rotating screen mount, but yeah, it works just fine. When I originally plugged it in, it was kind of like flashing, but just a quick little reset, holding both the scroll wheels fixed it, and it works just fine now. But the big question, what about this car's screen? Getting into the Model 3. And there it is. You can see super tiny bezels, sharper corners, bigger screen, sharper image. It doesn't appear to be trying to output the original resolution to this screen. It looks like this is just the full resolution. It looks super sharp. So if you're looking at retrofitting one of these, whenever Tesla starts selling the Model Y performance screen, I don't think they are yet. I know my Model 3, this Model 3, I actually bought a second screen like 7 or 8 months ago. I paid around about $1,000 for it. So I'd expect this to be around the same price, but I don't know if they're actually being sold yet just because the performance is so new, but they'll eventually sell it. And if you want to retrofit it, it appears to work.